This is Hannibal here from thehannibaltv.com with a daily wrestling news update. A couple notes. I did post a lot of clips from my UFO-related interview today on this channel with former head of the British Ministry of Defense UFO Investigation Unit, Mick. I'm sorry for all the non-UFO interested people in that, but I'm very interested in it. And it's becoming a very popular subject on my channel. I posted a video on the first that already has well over 200,000 hits. So it's a subject I'm going to continue covering as time goes on. Also, there was supposed to be a live streamed interview with Rick Bassman, DDP, and Boss Rutan earlier tonight. The live stream recording didn't work, but there is a copy of that will be posted on this channel tomorrow. It was just a streaming issue, so it's still coming. Mick Foley posted this picture a few days ago. He's no longer contagious for COVID-19. I guess one of his biggest symptoms was a headache, and I think he was out of isolation today, so good for him. On a bad health note, Billy Graham posted today on his Facebook page that he had a visit with his liver doctor, and unfortunately, they're going to have to cut part of his toes off due to a bone infection he's been dealing with and he's been hospitalized with recently. I mean, I think this is diabetes related. He also has skin cancer issues. He had a liver transplant. He is cured of Hep C, though, thank God, as is X-Pac now as well. That just came out last week that X-Pac got cured. And Billy Graham also has heart issues. So I did put his GoFundMe link in the description for anyone that wants to help him out. He is banned from the WWE Thunderdome, unfortunately, even though WWE put out new toys of him last year. Marty Squirrel, or however you pronounce his name, I guess it doesn't matter anymore. It appears he's no longer the Ring of Honor booker and is completely parted ways with Ring of Honor after it came out last year that he had had sex with a 16-year-old when he was around 27 years old. I've already been talking about the big SWE Fury event February 6th in Dallas, featuring a ton of stars. They are available in over 33 million homes, actually, on television, and they do have a YouTube channel where they also now post their full shows. But just posted today, there is another event coming up February 27th, 2021 in Carthage, which isn't too far from Shreveport, Louisiana. It's going to feature Shaul Guerrero, Eddie Guerrero's daughter, Teddy Long, who is on Raw tonight, Lacey Von Erich, Kerry Von Erich's daughter, Jazz, champion Christy Janes, Miranda Gordy, Selena De La Renta, and her newest protege, the Blood Hunter, Kevin Sullivan, former NWA champion Jax Dane, and many others to be announced. And by the way, the February 6th event, I forgot to mention, is in the Dallas area, right there in Irving, Texas. There is a lot of potential with this SWE Fury company, and I like MLW and I like NWA. I do have my issues with Nick Aldis, but I like those two companies. But the fact of the matter is SWE Fury actually has much greater television exposure than either of those companies in North America. If you look at the channels where it's available, and if you look at the star power of SWE Fury, they even had Lance Archer on their last show. I think that they also trump MLW and NWA in star power. So I think there's big things ahead for SWE Fury, and I'm happy to have them on this channel as we show Mick Foley giving them the thumbs up. I'll get into your comments. That's the main news of the day. Joe sends prayers to Billy Graham. Sam Len says Vincent Hogan do nothing to help. Hogan's done nothing for Billy Graham. Hogan is, for a guy that stole the ear cup from Billy Graham, the shirt rip, the term pythons, the term brother, and Billy Graham actually helped him break into the business. He hasn't donated a penny to Graham's GoFundMe, unfortunately. But thank you to everyone that did. John Garvin says, God bless Billy. Stay positive. He will never support WWE. Ed Kelly loves my channel. Why does wrestling suck now so much? Well, it doesn't all suck. There is some good companies like SWE. I haven't seen MLW for about a year or so, but I hear there's some good things going on there. People like AEW. There is a group that likes AEW. I don't particularly find it WWE entertaining. Impact is all pretty much pure comedy, but there are options coming out, and I hope that more companies like SWE pop up, and I hope PCW Ultra can open up again in LA once the pandemic subsides and they're allowed to promote again, because that reminded me of ECW, and there's tons of PCW Ultra content on this channel, and I would love to be involved with them again as they restart. Couple of more than one, actually. The PCW Ultra champion is Alex Hammerstone from MLW. Then there's the Sheik Joseph Smell and Jacob Fatu. So there's three, as well as Selena De La Renta, the Blood Hunter's new manager. So there is some good things about MLW. Craig says, God bless Billy Graham. He's watching on our The Hannibal TV Facebook page, where we do stream now. We're also on Twitch, Great North Wrestling. David Schiffer Jr. also watching on Facebook, says he hopes Billy pulled through. Fanboy Gary says he knows all too well what Billy's going through. He had bones removed because of a bone infection and had to go through 6 weeks of powerful antibiotics. That the end result was not favorable. I'm sorry to hear that, Gary, and I hope you both recover. I did talk to Billy not too long ago, and he said that he's been through so much, he feels he can deal with anything. Kurt says he wished there was more options in his area for wrestling. I wish there was in my area too, but we're fully on lockdown here in Ontario, Canada, even though New Japan ran last night before a very good crowd in Tokyo. From the pictures that I saw, I think they had at least 5,000 in Tokyo, Japan for New Japan last night. But here you can't even go to the gym. John wants to know where Davey Boy Smith Jr. is going to wrestle. If I was a betting man, he is the Hannibal TV champion of Great North Wrestling. But unfortunately, if I was a betting man, I would say more likely than not, he might end up in WWE before the lockdown restrictions let up enough for us to have another Great North Wrestling event here in Canada, sadly. Joe Shipley thinks karma will get to Hogan in the end. I did post a video of Dan Proffitt, who I interviewed on the weekend, talking about a restaurant incident and a Calgary WWE house show incident that he had with Hulk Hogan, where Hogan displayed rudeness. And that clip got about 30,000 views. And people were wondering, and I'll just answer this now, why would WWE bring Dan Proffitt, WCW brought Dan Proffitt to a dinner meeting and to attend a WCW Nitro to give storyline ideas. And some people wrote, why would they want storyline ideas from Dan Proffitt? Well, Bret Hart was in WCW at the time. Bret Hart had a lot of pull in WCW at the time. Dan Proffitt was one of the bookers for Stampede Wrestling, and he helped Bret Hart a lot in his career. They're still friends to this day. that is why Brett probably pulled some strings for him to advise WCW, which obviously they didn't take his advice, and it didn't end up very well for him, did it? Mitch Miller, did I see Nick Pope on Tucker Carlson tonight? That would be pretty cool if I had Nick Pope on the same day he appears on Tucker Carlson. I did a great interview with Nick Pope. That was actually the second time I spoke to him. We tried to do that same interview last month, but he lives in the Arizona desert. His connection is not great. It didn't work. So we just had a phone conversation, and we did it again today. And to save on bandwidth, mine was just audio and his was video, but it streamed fairly well. And if anyone's interested in UFOs, I highly suggest you watch that. Very interesting stuff. And he's an incredibly intelligent person. And I was truly honored to speak with him, as I'm very interested in that. So I wish everyone a good night. Thanks for tuning in. And one last question I'll answer here from Facebook. Do I remember Gangrel as a tag team in WCW as a member of the Blackhearts? I think he talked to me about it in a shoot interview, but I don't know if I specifically recall that. I may have been too young to remember that. And of course, Pubert's watching on our Great North Wrestling Twitch channel saying we have the best interviews regarding UFOs. More to come. These people are very hard to get, but I'm going to track them down. I'm going to work on it. Thanks, Steve, for the shout out. Really appreciate it. Same to you, Craig. Have a great night. I'm going to work out.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, and click the subscribe button to not miss any of our latest shoot interviews, match videos, or news updates. Support us on patreon.com.